One of the first self-help books that I have ever read was this, The Secret. I read this when I was, I think, 18 or 19. And I know that this is a super controversial book. There is a lot of debate surrounding the law of attraction, but that is not what we are talking about today. What this book did for me was teach me two very, very important lessons that have been the cornerstone of my life since I was 19. The first one is how powerful our thoughts actually are and how much of an impact they have on our reality. And once you realize this, you become so much more intentional about how you think, what you think, and the way that you think. And the second lesson that this book taught me is that there are so many inexplainable things in the universe. We have been trying for centuries to explain so many things, but there are some things that are still beyond the comprehension of the rational mind, and that's completely okay. Now coming to the heart of the matter, the reason why you clicked on this video, figure out whether manifestation is real or not. So I recently got a chance to host this workshop for Pinterest India. And I absolutely loved every minute of it. I had been trying to get to do live workshops for a couple of months now. And when I started thinking about doing this, I started creating a vision board for myself. I use Pinterest for this kind of stuff. So I, collected a couple of pictures of women speaking on public platforms, addressing, giving talks, taking workshops, all of that. And I took all of those pictures and put them in a Pinterest board. And then I completely forgot about it. I was busy with the rest of my work. Then in May, I get this opportunity to host this workshop and I was overjoyed. And at this point in time, I have completely forgotten about the vision board that I created. I'm just overjoyed to be hosting a workshop, a live workshop one, and to be doing it with a brand that I so dearly love. But when I got back and I was making a reel for the event, I just went back to that vision board to just see what pictures I can use probably for the reel. And there's this one picture in that board that looks like it is my workshop come to life. Like I'm putting them side by side here and just see the friggin' resemblance. And when I saw that photo, I had goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now while explaining this to you. And I had goosebumps on stage when I was talking during the workshop. But goosebumps aside, I was like, dude, the attention to detail, the picture by picture thing of how my version of the workshop came to life is mind-blowing. If you look at the light fixtures in the restaurant where we had this workshop were also circular, like roundish bulbs. And I was like, dude. Now, for somebody who is talking about manifestation or learning about manifestation for the first time, it might be easy to say that this is coincidence. But this is not the first time that this has happened. I started creating vision boards and writing down affirmations back in 2019 when I was going through a really, really hard time in life. And this seemed like the only solid thing that I could depend on, only thing that I had control over. And so I created a vision board. I had to shift houses at that point in time, which is something that I'm also kind of in the middle of right now. But I had to shift houses at that point in time. And I was just really tired of living in, dark, dingy houses, like how homes in Delhi are, there are no high rises, etc., whatever. So I took a couple of these photos from Pinterest, and at that time and point, I created like a realistic, real life vision board. And I put photos of these floor to ceiling windows that I wanted in my house. And I put them on my vision board and I just left it there. And then when you were house hunting, of course, I'm not carrying my vision board with me everywhere. The house that we ended up moving into had the exact same windows. And I was like, bro, how does this happen? And I have a couple of theories on why or how this works and how this comes to life, and we'll discuss this in a bit. But I'm telling you these two stories because the way that they came to life, the way these manifestations came to life was very similar to a visual cue that I had saved. And I was completely blown away both times. And again, like I'm saying, these are not the only two times. This has happened multiple times. These are just the two examples that I'm giving you. So if you come up to me and ask me whether the concept of manifestation is real, I will say yes, 100% it is. Hello, scene change. My camera's battery died, so putting it on charge. Now coming to how manifestation works. I think there are essentially three components to it. From my own experience, from reading about other people's experiences, and I'm going to try and simplify them for you as much as possible. The first one is intention. How clear you are on what you want. So I've realized this time and again with myself that when I put something up on my vision board or when I write an affirmation about something, I am already 100% clear on the fact that this is what I want to achieve or this is what I want to manifest. It's not just a passing comment. It is not something that I just say at the back of my head. It is something that I'm very, very intentional about. Like, I know that this is what I want. The second component is belief or faith. And again, I've realized this with myself and with people who talk a lot about manifestation and manifesting things. There is 100% complete faith and belief in the fact that, yeah, this thing is going to get manifested. Like, there is not even a shadow of a doubt in my mind when I want to manifest something that this may not come to life, or there is no inkling of confusion. I know for a fact that it is going to happen, that I am going to manifest this thing, and or this thing is going to come into my life. That has happened with these two examples that I shared. That has happened with reaching 100K followers on Instagram. That has happened with the kind of people that I want in my life. And every time I want to manifest something and I write it down or I put it on my vision board, I don't have any doubt whatsoever that this is going to come to life. And I'm not talking about this from a spiritual or energy perspective, which a lot of people talk about. I'm talking about this more from an identity perspective, because the third component of manifestation is action. And we take actions that align with our identity, how we identify or what we identify as. Let me explain. Now, James Clear talks about this concept in Atomic Habits, where he's talking about quitting a bad habit, let's say smoking, right? So a smoker who's trying to quit will identify as a smoker who's trying to quit. But if you ask somebody who doesn't smoke if they want a cigarette, they will always say that I'm not a smoker. They identify as a non-smoker. Their identity, their belief in themselves is that they don't smoke. And he talks about this perspective shift for when you are trying to quit a bad habit. So if you want to quit smoking and you start thinking of yourself, you start believing that you're a non-smoker, it becomes that much more easier for you to align your actions according to your new identity, instead of if you were thinking that I'm a smoker who's trying to quit. So a similar thing happens with manifestation as well, right? So if I have a resounding belief that this is something that I'm going to manifest, and if I believe that manifestation works, all of my actions that I take going forward are in accordance to that identity shift. So if I believe that I am going to go ahead and take live workshops and speak on stage, that is the identity I'm aligning myself with. And once I align myself with that identity, I go ahead and take actions in that direction also. So whenever there is a social gathering or whenever there's a meetup, or if somebody goes ahead and asks me whether I take corporate workshops, I am going to say yes. On the other hand, if that is not what I identify as, if I don't identify as a public speaker, or if I don't identify as somebody who teaches people or takes workshops, I will be shifty when somebody asks me that question. I will not know how to answer. So these are very subtle shifts, and it might not seem like a lot, but I've realized that these are the three components, which is your intention, your belief, and your action in accordance to your identity, that determine whether you're able to manifest something or not. So now when we talk about vision boards or writing your goals in your journal or writing affirmations, those things are actually the action part, but they help all three components of your manifestation process. For instance, when I write down my goals in my diary, I'm setting an intention. I'm becoming very intentional about the fact that this is what I want to achieve. Then when I go ahead and create a vision board for it, I am cementing my belief in the fact that this is what is going to come to life and this is what it will look like for me. And then once I start taking action in that direction, once I start aligning my actions with that identity, once I start putting in the pieces of the puzzle, the other pieces, the things that are missing from my life right now, those come to me from outside. Now, I don't completely understand how energetically that works, although I do believe that it is energetically, because not everything is in your control. I am taking action for the things that are in my control. But once I've taken the action, the rest is not in my control. So how that comes to life, I believe, is the universe helping us and putting the missing pieces of the puzzle to fit in and create the whole picture. And yeah, that is what I think manifestation is. That is how I believe manifestation works. And so far, it has worked for me every single time that I've tried to manifest something. So I hope that this video clarified things for you a little bit. Maybe it helped you get on your path or journey to manifestation. And if you have tried any manifestation techniques, although I'm not an expert in that, these are the only things that I do: writing my intention in my journal, creating a vision board on Pinterest, and then having a physical vision board above my desk, which is something that I see every day. And that's about it. So let me know what techniques, if there are any other besides these that you use. If you do, I would love to know them. Tell me in the comments. If you are new to this, what do you think of manifestation as a subject? As you can tell by the title of this video, I completely 100% believe in it. It has worked for me always. And I do hope that it works for you as well. So with that, don't forget to like this video because that just really helps it reach more people. And subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.